All right, welcome. Today we are diving into a technique that is, and I'm not exaggerating here, a total game changer for your English fluency and pronunciation. Let's jump right in. You know that feeling, right? You're listening to a native English speaker and their words just flow. There's a rhythm, a music to it, and you think to yourself, wow, I wish I could sound like that. Well, it might seem like some kind of magic, but it's actually something you can learn. It's a skill, and it comes from a very specific and really powerful training method.
And that method is called shadowing. Now, this is not your typical boring listen and repeat exercise from a textbook. No, shadowing is active. It happens in real time. You're literally speaking almost at the same time as the person you're listening to, following them like a shadow. The goal here isn't just to say the words. It's to match everything: the tone, the rhythm, the pauses, even the breath.
And just so you know, this isn't some random classroom trick. We're talking about a high-performance tool used by professional conference interpreters, the people who have to listen in one language and speak in another at the same time. It was developed by a linguist who speaks over 50 languages, so yeah, this technique has some serious credentials. So you might be wondering, how does this actually work? What's going on in the brain that makes this method so incredibly effective? Well, it all comes down to the science of how we produce speech. Okay, so take a look at this. Think of speaking as a three-step assembly line in your brain. First, you figure out what you want to say, the idea. Then your brain finds the right words and grammar, the formulator. And finally, your mouth, tongue, and lips actually make the sounds, the articulator. What shadowing does is pretty brilliant. It lets you skip that first thinking stage and directly trains the other two parts to work faster, more efficiently, and automatically. Here's another way to picture it. Your brain has this amazing little feature called the phonological loop. It's kind of like a short-term audio memory, a mental tape recorder that holds on to sounds for a few seconds. Shadowing is like an intense workout for this loop. You're forcing it to work at its absolute peak, strengthening it just like a muscle. This workout builds the neural pathways you need for fluent, automatic speech. And the payoff for all this brain work? Well, the benefits are huge. You're not just improving one thing, you're basically upgrading your entire speaking system. Your pronunciation gets way clearer, your intonation starts to sound natural, not robotic. You also start to really hear how native speakers connect their words. That's deep listening. All of this builds your fluency and, maybe most importantly, your confidence. Okay, so you get the why. That's awesome. Now for the really important part, the how. Let's walk through a practical routine you can start using today.
Here is a simple, proven game plan. Step 1. Find a short, clear audio clip, just 1 to 3 minutes long. Something like a short podcast segment is perfect. Make sure it has a transcript. Step 2. Just listen to it once to get the general idea. Step 3. Now, for the first few times, read the transcript while you shadow the audio. This helps build confidence. Step 4. Once you're feeling good, put that script away. Now you're going to shadow using only your ears. It's harder, but this is where the real learning happens. Step 5. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Do the same clip 3 to 5 times. This is all about building muscle memory. And finally, step 6, record yourself. I know, it can feel weird, but trust me, comparing your recording to the original is the absolute fastest way to hear where you can improve. And here's a pro tip, and this is probably the most important piece of advice I can give you. Think of this like going to the gym. A focused 10 or 15 minutes every single day is so much more powerful than a long 2-hour session once a week. Consistency is everything. All right, enough talk. Theory is one thing, but practice is where the magic really happens. So how about we try this together, right now? Let's do a little practice with some more advanced phrases. Okay, welcome. You've just stepped into our Mastering Flawless English shadowing class. I'm going to be your model speaker. Your job is to follow my voice as closely as you possibly can. All right, I want you to listen really carefully and shadow my voice. For now, don't even worry about what the words mean. Just focus on the sound, the melody, the rhythm. Ready? Let's begin. Shadowing facilitates the transition from effortful decoding to fluent production. Good. Let's try another one.
It requires a profound reorganization of the learner's auditory motor pathways. Excellent. Did you feel the rise and fall in my voice there, the melody? That's exactly what we're aiming for. Let's do one more.
By forcing the phonological loop to operate at peak capacity, it builds mental agility under pressure. Fantastic! You can feel it, right? That feeling of intense focus is what active shadowing is all about.
Okay, that was great. Now,
As you go off and practice this on your own, there is one last super important mindset you need to have for this to actually work.
So look at the difference here. On one side, you have what we call mindless mimicry. This is just repeating words like a parrot, with no focus on the meaning or the emotion. Honestly, it gets you nowhere. But on the other side, that's active shadowing. This is when you are totally focused, matching not just the words, but the stress, the rhythm, the intonation. It's driven by meaning, and it is the only path to real fluency.
So here's the thing. Your voice, it's an instrument. It really is. And it's capable of producing that clear, confident, fluent English that you're aiming for. Shadowing is your training regimen. So the only real question is, are you ready to start practicing?
And hey, one last thing before you go. If you found this class valuable, please do us a huge favor and subscribe, like, and share. It honestly makes a massive difference because it tells the algorithm that this is valuable content, and that helps more people just like you find it. Thank you so much for your support.